All right. So after I saw that shoe, um, I started basically just trying to research shoes in general. And so I do run. I run as much as I can, but I'm not necessarily like an avid runner, like a person. I'm on the Nike app, and so I've actually added up quite a few miles. I can't remember what color I'm in right now. I think I'm in like color black or something like that. I can't remember, but I'm trying to get to like, you know, I'm not trying. It's just eventually, if I keep it up, I'll end up in this like bracket of runners. But I don't take running as seriously as I should. Like I don't. Well, the main motivation behind me running, honestly, is to eat more food because I like bad food, and so I figure I don't want to just get real big and die. It's like try and lose some weight by running. I saw one day behind the scenes about Manny Pacquiao. And he said something like he consumed like an average of like 7,000 calories a day. I think Michael Phelps was another person that was like high calories, eat all day because their body needed that energy. How their body processes that much food in a day, I don't know. I mean, it's just I guess you get into people's genetics and how they're all different, how we're all wired. So, um, I started researching shoes, and so I have a list here you'll find again on the blog post that will be linked in the video here. But I found all these dope videos on YouTube, like I'll just kind of show some of them. There was like Angelus, I think that's how you say it, Angelus leather paint. That's a special kind of paint that you can use to do shoes. There was a video showing how to repair shoes, how to customize and paint them with the Angelus leather paints. Um, this guy had a pretty dope video up where he took some old Jordan 13s and then cleaned them up. So that's pretty cool. Like go to eBay and you find like a cheap shoe that you like, but if the sole and stuff is in decent condition, you can paint the rest of the shoe to kind of update it. And then making a shoe. There's a whole video showing how to make them. So then this is what messed me up. A video about how to make a shoe mold with silicone rubber. And so what I was finding out was that you could use, these resins where you take a mold and you pour the rubber in it and you end up with like the bottom of the shoe. And so I went shoe shopping and I found some pretty dope Nikes. So what happened was I just went down the street to this little mall down the way, and they have actually a dope kick shop in there. But I don't really go in there because it's just trying to be cautious about how much I'm spending on things like shoes. And so they have like a famous footwear, which is just a basic line and carry relatively inexpensive shoes. So I found these dope Nikes. They had a deal like buy one get one free. So they had these dope gray Nikes I wanted to get, but they didn't feel really that well. They didn't feel that nice. As you see here in these pictures, you have these black shoes on the left, and then these neon shoes, and these gray ones. The gray ones was on point, but they just didn't feel like something I could run in. I wanted to be able to run in both these shoes. But what ended up happening was the black shoe became like a comfort shoe that I just wear around the house. Dude, they feel like nothing. They weigh virtually nothing. It's awesome. And that almost made me stop trying to make a shoe because I was like, man, because those ended up being, if I remember correctly, it was like buy one get the other one half off, and so those joints was like $80. But then the neon shoes I got for like $30. So for $100, basically, I ended up with two decent Nikes. And so the black shoes were actually the most comfortable shoes I had ever worn. You don't even feel, you know how you can feel socks on your feet? Like these shoes, they didn't even feel like you had anything on your feet. And when you stepped, it was like really soft, man. It was awesome. It was better than my house slippers. So I actually wear those shoes around the house like they're house slippers. But then those neon joints, shout out to Neon Joe. If you haven't watched Neon Joe on Adult Swim, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. And so, anything loud like that I normally wouldn't rock. The last time I wore something that bright was some British Knights way back when I was a kid. Shout out the British Knights real quick. That was also another pair of shoes. My dad got me those. He was stationed away, and he sent me those for my birthday. He bought me some British Knights, which is funny. I don't know if he knew. Knowing my dad, though, he probably did know what time it was because my dad was actually very fashion savvy too. Like, so he probably knew he was hooking me up with some dope kicks. But he got me ones that were like neon, so they got, again, when things start attracting attention, it's like kind of not into it because I don't want the attention. I wasn't rocking the shoe to get like any praise. It was just like I liked them because they were bright. But then like people were noticing like, yo, where you get those? And I was just like, I don't want. I don't like attracting people sometimes around me because they bring negative energy and they usually have some sort of weird motive or something. It's like I don't want to deal with you. So I wasn't a fan of those British Knights as far as the neon went. And so for the most part of my life, I avoided neon loud things. But as I started running, I was like, you know what, neon is actually important, so you don't get hit by cars and stuff. You want to be able to be seen. And so I know, cause copping these Nikes, dude, they were dope. Like they didn't feel that comfortable as far as just walking around casually. But the sole does the thing where it kind of wraps around your foot real good. Let me see if I got it close up. I didn't get really a close up. Let me see, these are the closest. I guess these were the closest that I pictured. I actually have buyer's remorse. I think I wish I would have got those because those are pretty dope. But I don't know. I didn't like you see how the sole on the white ones, they kind of have that rectangle foot thing going on, which I'm actually a fan of. But in this shoe, I just didn't really kind of want it for some reason. The feeling of the black shoes ended up selling me. So, but these neon joints were dope. And, you know, like that big Nike symbol on the side kind of threw me off for a second. But it grew on me. You know, it was like, you know, design-wise, it actually kind of worked out. I like the way it visually looked. As opposed to just a swatch on the side like normal. You know, it was pretty cool up front. But those shoes were some of the most comfortable running shoes I've ever used. They were dope. Like I still rock them now. They've gotten dirty really fast, but I put like a shoe protector on it and stuff like that. So that was me kind of just researching how to even make shoes because I was like, man, if I want to do this, anytime I start a project, I try and figure out if there's going to be a stage that's going to kill it. You know what I mean? It's like if you're building a car, you might hit a point where you're like, oh my God, the transmission for this particular kit costs $1 million. And you're like, I'm not doing it. You know, I was like, man, I want to make a shoe, but let me figure out if there's some sort of deal killer in it. And there wasn't. And so, anyway, that was the second stage that I was just starting basically researching shoes to see, you know, look at things like the material it was made out of and what kind of rubber I want to try and buy to pour this shoe that I wanted to create. So that was the second stage.